Welcome back to Miami's Man Cave. It's Andy Korge here. Thanks for coming. This is where the opinions are strong, the drinks are cold, and the topics are hot. And today, we're talking Miami Dolphins, probably the worst subject you could talk about in Miami right now in a man cave like mine. But we're going to talk to two podcasters who are the best podcasters in the country, if you want my opinion, our two old Dolphins, Alex Saenz and Scott Quiggle. Hey, Scott, how are you? Scott coming from San Diego, and Alex here in the MIA right to my side. Good to see you, boys. Are the Dolphins, should we think the Dolphins have any chance in 2025 to do anything? What do you boys think?
Okay, I can answer that.
They
I
will
think
do
they have a
something.
chance to get I think they have a chance to get the number one draft pick.
Yes.
Okay.
I agree.
What do you think, Scott?
So I think the Jets have the lock on the number one draft pick, but we'll be in the top 3.
Wow, that's pretty pessimistic, I would say, don't you?
Realistic, is what I would say.
You think so?
Yeah, I think top 3 is definite. Number 1 is still a possibility. We still have to play the Jets up in New York, right?
We do. And I think at the end of the year, we could easily lose to the Jets in New York, right?
How well did we do last year at the end of the year against the Jets?
Not good. Not good. Oh, Tommy Two Fingers over here on the board. Tommy, thanks for helping us here tonight.
Tommy, cheers.
Appreciate it here in the man cave. Yeah, let's have a drink to Tommy. Tommy, thank you. Here, I'll give you one of those.
Cheers.
And Tommy is from San Diego.
He is. He's from
no
North
kidding.
County. He's from San. You're part of the woods there, Scott. What are you drinking, Scott, tonight? What do you got?
Coffee and rum.
Coffee and rum.
rum.
Scott, what's your background? Are you Irish?
That sounds like a Cuban might do that.
Yeah, I am half Irish, half Ukrainian.
Oh my God, because coffee and rum would be like something the Irish would drink in the morning, never at night. No self-respected Irishman would drink that at night.
I think for them it would be coffee and whiskey.
Yeah.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
Irish whiskey.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's kind
Maybe
of
Jameson.
something like that, right? Yeah.
I was not in a whiskey mood tonight, but if I come out there, I'm expecting some Pappy Van Winkle. You're the wealthy guy. Yeah.
Okay.
I can't afford that shit here, so. Oh, am I
there
supposed
you go.
to swear
Yeah, we got a little blue going. I've got my chaser right here, an ice cold Corona. So yeah, we're enjoying it in the man cave. 1-5 start. Where do we go from here, guys? What do we do? Is it leadership? Is it coaching? Recently, Tua, had foot and mouth disease, and he was talking about how there's a lack of leadership on the team. But hey, guess what? He's one of our team leaders. He's a captain. What do you guys think?
I couldn't agree more.
What's the problem? What's the problem, Scott?
Our problem is not one problem. Our problem is 3. 3 problems. Number 1, we have an owner who has never made a good football decision in his life. He's generous. He opens his pockets. He's invested in the team and the facilities and everything. That's all good. But every football decision that he's ever been part of has been bad. Number 2, we have the worst. No, we don't. We have one of the worst front offices in the NFL. The hit ratio of Chris Greer and his team of scouts and front office people is too low for us to ever put together a playoff winning team. We won't see it as long as he is our GM. Number 3, and this was never more evident than when we were on Hard Knocks. Did you see our head coach address the team on Hard Knocks in the meeting room, in the amphitheater or whatever? He talked like a punk kid from the streets of San Francisco, right?
Yeah.
F this,
exactly.
F that, blah, blah, blah. Not the passionate, intelligent F-bombs that Shula used to scare the crap out of his people with. His is like the street language version, a guy trying to be cool and funny and whatever. He has 0 leadership skills. And as much as I tried to like him, even though I didn't like the selection to begin with, we can go back to our podcast from when he was picked and here's some choice words I had to say about him at that time. But, we're not the GM. So when somebody gets picked, you have to get behind them until you're not behind them anymore. And that was when I was off his wagon 100%. And that was already, 2 years ago? So
Yeah, it's you were off. You weren't on him from the start, as I recall listening to Two Old Dolfans. But real quick, before I get your opinion on it, is
it's
Scott
all of
hiding
the
a herp?
problem.
Is Scott hiding a herpes sore or something underneath that? I don't know what exactly. There, okay, there he is. I'm just wondering, Scott. I'm just wondering.
This is a good mic, but it has a lower gain, so you got to put it in your mouth practically, like you're singing.
I gotcha. Yes,
Yeah.
that's what I said to her too.
That's,
Yes,
and she
for sure.
agreed. I
She
hope.
did agree.
Thank
Yes.
God. Okay, to answer your question on Tua and his comments, I think it's fitting that I answer it. I don't quite get the pitch of his voice, but in a McDaniel type of answer. When Tua said the statements, he meant what he was really saying. I mean, the other day McDaniel was answering a question. I was telling Andy about it. 25 I counted. 25 in a simple answer to a question. So, yeah, he is part of the problem, Scott. I agree with you. But I think what Tua said, I have a different take than I think everybody's been saying foot in mouth. It was horrible. He's not a leader. But I think Tua has always been a vigorously honest young man and has always said what he feels, what he really believes. And what I heard Tua say is these damn players don't give a shit about our team.
Yeah, but he's a team leader, right?
Yeah, but the culture has been cultivated by Mr. McDaniel is one of player driven. And last year we had two key captains, being Hill and Ramsey, that never showed up to practice. Were always late.
And quit in a game.
And one quit on the team. One literally quit on the team.
Literally quit. Yeah.
And so the players, that's what they see. And I really believe that the culture, what's happening, what Tua was saying is that, hey, man, no one is really buying into this. No one is really wants to win. And that's what he was complaining about. So
is this going to be a distraction? What do you say, Scott? Is this the last distraction of the team for the year? There's going to be a lot more. There's probably going to be a firing of a coach if they don't start winning soon. That's certainly going to be a major distraction. Maybe front office shakeup. I mean, is this just another distraction for the season, or does it really mean nothing to a bunch of players that don't really give a shit?
I think it's already a circus, and it's just going to remain a circus. Do you got clown music to cue up for the podcast?
More distraction than this. I mean, I see this as a train wreck, like I think all of us do. And this train wreck is going to continue going until changes are made. I mean, we just saw Tennessee fire their head coach.
Right. Early in the season.
I've never seen it this early.
Right.
1-5. Their record was 1-5. Does that ring a bell?
Same as somebody we know. Yeah.
Only he was in his second year.
Yeah. I don't think firing McDaniel's going to solve anything at this point.
Not this year. No.
I just think I think we eventually have to and get a new GM.
I do too. But let's talk about this season for a second, because we've only gone through, half a dozen games here, and there's plenty of season left. So we're going to sit through a lot more season, and you guys are going to do a lot more podcasts to talk about this season. So what's going to happen with the guys out there? Tyreek Hill's out for the year. Is Achane just going to be driven to the dirt and overused? What do you think is going to happen? Who's going to be that big play threat moving forward?
Well, Scott and I did an exercise a couple of episodes ago, and I did it with the chat group that we're in, about who is our cornerstone player. And I can honestly think of one, Achane. That's the only guy I can see. I believe that we are going to drive him to the ground because he's not a workhorse. He's a back that should touch the ball 12 to 16 times a game total. That includes receptions.
Okay.
And now he's touching the ball 20 sometimes. Great if you own him in fantasy, but I really think that they're overusing him, and we don't have a complimentary back. I feel like McDaniel. I think it's kind of cashy, man. But what I see is that we miss an opportunity to get a complimentary back that actually can help. It might be Gordon, but the way McDaniel utilizes his backfield, we'll never know. Gordon touches the ball 2 to 3 times a game. That's it.
Yeah, but do you guys, Scott, do you think that that Hill going down, I mean, we probably weren't going to re-sign Hill after this year anyway, right? So do you think him going down, there's a kind of a silver lining to that black cloud, which is we see how good Waddle actually could be as in maybe potentially a number one. And now they're using, Darren Waller in the middle of the field, which he's quite a threat if he can get through a full season.
So why did
certainly.
Darren Waller only get 3 targets in the last game when we were so competitive?
Well, I don't know that I could blame that on Darren Waller,
No.
but I
Yeah.
think that
It's the
that
play
certainly
calling.
maybe we can see if these other assets can work the way we.
I agree with that,
anticipate.
Andy. I do. I think it is a potential blessing in disguise to see the depth on the team. I would like to see more Malik Washington. I think he's a talented kid. I mean, watch his returns. You can see the talent, eking out in the returns. And so if he gets more chances, in the passing game as wide receiver 2, we'll see whether he's a guy that we, want to keep or the next GM wants to keep going forward. I mean, to go back to what Alex said, I'm in total agreement with him. There's one player I don't want to see leave. There's others I like that I wouldn't want to see leave. But if I put on my fake GM hat and I'm, what am I going to do with this team for next year? Right now, every player except for A-Chain is a potential trade. And I don't want Chris Greer doing it because I don't think he'll get value for people. The only time I'm trading people is if you're getting appropriate value for them. So,
Well, that was my next question, which with you guys was who are those target players? We come up to the trade deadline. Let's say our team loses a few more games in a row here, and all of a sudden we're staring at 1-8 or 2-7 or something like that.
likely.
I mean, who are those players? Because we're going to get to that November trade deadline, and all of a sudden there's going to be some attractive guys that that maybe we can pawn off for some draft picks and play again for the future.
Okay, my take on that. First of all, on the Hill centric, which I always believe, just to answer that real quick, just to touch on that. I thought the Dolphins were too Hill centric when we had him, and it to our detriment. He's a great player, always getting open, but it seemed like Tua was always looking at him. Waddle, remember, had 105 receptions as a rookie. He is a tremendous talent. I think our offense, sometimes McDaniel calls good games. Recently, he's been doing that. But then again, he loses track of what the tools he has, like what Scott just mentioned about Waller. Waller was hit down the seams twice. He can do that.
Yes.
And then it disappeared. What, they took it away? Okay, then you hit him underneath. I'm okay with Waller getting an 8-yard pass. I'm very happy with that. Okay. But as far as trading players are concerned, I would, if I am Mr. Ross, I hope you listen to this.
Yeah,
I'm
sure he is.
I would say,
you would say trade Mr. Ross.
I would say, Mr. Ross,
we'll trade you for
sell
Robert
the team.
Kraft.
Sell the team.
No,
Mr.
we'll
Ross.
trade him. Can we trade him for Robert Kraft or something like that?
We give Robert limitless massages down here in Miami.
We get good massages.
You're going to get limitless, and
yes,
the police will look the other way. Don't worry about it. Upstate in Florida, different. Miami, different ballgame.
Yeah, no problem.
I would say no trading. No trading. I want a GM to come in with a full sled. If he wants to trade guys in the offseason when guys really, in the NFL, it's not like baseball. In baseball, you do great tradings at the deadline. In the NFL, you basically get guys, get some people off your books or something. I would like to see no trading. I would say don't allow anything to be done so that the new GM comes in with a fresh book. Does not come in and say,
well, what about Scott? What about the players that are contracts are coming up? Like you have Jalen Phillips as an example. Right. His contract's going to come up. Do we want to get into a competitive situation to overpay a guy like Jalen Phillips, who, when healthy, granted, is a great player, but he's perpetually injured?
Yes. That's a tough one for me because he's one of my favorite players on the team. I mean, outstanding human being, a workhorse with work ethic, a motor that doesn't stop, everything that you want in a player except for his availability, right? His, injuries, and the injuries that he's had have been bad ones the last 2 years in a row. So, yeah, that's a conundrum. Again, it comes down to this. What value could we get for him? If somebody's asked, offering a 5th-round pick, I'm like, no. I'm going to take my chances with him.
Yeah,
if
but isn't a
somebody's
fifth? But maybe a
if
5th-round pick is better than nothing next year. I don't know.
maybe sometimes you
Guys, I
got to
don't.
take a gamble on a guy that you believe in or that you are willing to get behind, especially somebody of good character, right? I'm not getting behind Tyreek Hill. He's not a man of good character.
No, what makes you say that? For gosh sake!
Yeah, allegedly.
I mean,
So
listen, guys. As long as you've entered that subject, there's been so many things with Tyreek.
yeah,
What I can't think anything, and I hate to say this because it's really kind of cruel, but there's nothing more funny than him getting into a blocking match with a oversized model and breaking her leg. And I hate for the fact that
Was
she
she a
broke her
fan
leg.
only? Was she a fan only?
Only fans.
Only
Yes.
fan,
Don't
whatever.
show your age. It's
I
called OnlyFans.
I
Yes.
don't. I don't engage. I don't
that's
engage in that
fakery.
stuff.
That's
don't engage in
Alex
that.
Saenz deceptiveness, pretending that he doesn't know what it is.
I have no idea what
Dude,
you're talking
good
about.
catch. Good catch, Scott. I didn't.
I
think
know him
about
too well.
These are my
Yeah.
alleged friends. Alleged. Yes, alleged.
Don't worry, your wife will never watch The Man Cave.
Oh, she'll be on this like immediately. This is Monica's vibe. She
It is.
She
It is
thinks
kind
more
of
like
her
a man
vibe,
than
Yes, she
women do
does.
many
She
things.
does.
I don't know.
What do you think? What were we talking about? I don't know. What was the worst thing that Tyreek did? I mean,
Well,
could anything
the
be
model and doing the Michael Jackson thing with the baby over the
The
balcony.
baby.
Oh, that
yeah,
might.
I would say the baby was the worst thing.
Wait. Leaving
The one baby,
leaving,
not the 8 million babies.
leaving the kids unattended and almost burning the house down. That was pretty good.
That was a good one. I mean, and all these things, you feel bad to laugh at them, but
So they're funny.
once they pile on to one another, they do become like a cartoon, like a comical cartoon of some sort.
About quitting
An
education, that wasn't
indicator
funny.
of character, deeply inbred. So
He was just kidding when he quit on the Dolphins too, right?
Well, I mean, if you want to get really cruel, his injury, as bad as it was, and I feel bad for Tyreek or any athlete
I do
to get
too,
injured
by
like
the
that.
way. Yeah.
But it
Yes.
came at the most inopportune time for the Miami Dolphins organization, because maybe if there was anyone that maybe had really trade value at the trade
It would have been him.
deadline, it was probably Tyreek.
So if you listen to our podcast, if we're not new to you, last year before the trade deadline was when we were really, was it last year or the year before? It was last year, right?
It was last year when Tua got hurt.
Right.
And I went
At
on
that
there
point, we
and-
said we could get a
Yes.
number 1 for him because he was still considered to be one of the best
two
wide
number
receivers in the NFL. Well, okay, I'll just be conservative. Right?
I mean,
Yeah,
he was just
could have
voted.
got that kind of value out of him at that time and not since then. So,
He was just voted like the best player in the NFL.
yes,
You know,
he was
he
ranked
had
number 1.
value like crazy.
By the other players, yeah.
Yes, and it was the time to trade him was then, and we just I pounded the table.
Yeah,
on that time.
but you guys do realize that no coach or GM in his right mind at that point in time is going to trade the number 1 player in the NFL.
Oh,
I mean, why not?
GM, a good GM would be salivating to do that.
I would.
That's what they do.
Well, maybe let me rephrase
Let's turn
it.
this guy who's on the tail end of it and in a bad situation now because
Without a
of our
quarterback.
quarterback, right? Into tremendous value for the future, maybe even the next quarterback. Right?
Well, and you know what? You make a point there, Scott, because really at the end of the day, the trading him at that point, we already identified that there's going to be a problem with Tua. He was getting concussions at that point. He was out of games. There was all sorts of problems, and of course, he had the injury history.
I don't want to see him get hurt, but I can't believe he's still upright this season behind the worst offensive line in the NFL.
The Dodgers just hit a home run here in the Man Cave.
Okay.
And why? I
Was
would
that
have
then?
never guessed you were a Dodger fan. I don't know what would have been a giveaway. Hernandez a home.
Hernandez. there
Are you
go.
happy?
I'm very happy. I'm very happy.
But I don't think that that Tyreek, at that point in time, we knew that Tua probably wasn't going to be the answer at quarterback. But my point was, you're right, Scott. The GM, that's when a great GM makes his money. But a coach at that point in time is going to die if you're trading away
taking
the
away his
number
best
one
player. That's
yes,
right.
of
He's
course.
going to argue against it. Yep.
100%.
Yes, he would.
So
But it would have been the right move. Not only in hindsight, we said it at the time that was the right move. If you're going to go somewhere, because the team was going nowhere, losing Tua, and at that point, if you remember, we thought Tua was going to be gone, maybe forever.
Forever, right?
Right.
We are looking at who will be the next franchise quarterback for the Miami Dolphins at that time, 100%. And so the GM should be focused on the future at that time, and therefore should have been talking to people about that.
And by the way, guys, I don't believe Tua looks, and we've discussed this, I don't believe Tua looks the same. I think his velocity is not there. He's inaccurate now more than I've ever seen him.
Well, I think his hip, he's getting older. He has these hip ins. He's getting,
we're talking about
where he's an old man, God damn it.
He's almost 27.
But he's getting older. He's got these hip injuries that are just going to get worse.
He's almost 1/3 our age.
Yes. God bless him. So I think that, I don't know. Listen, disrespect. Do we deserve it at this point? I was listening to ESPN the other day, and Rex Ryan came on, and we've heard Rex Ryan's name as possible replacement coach.
No,
I don't want to go.
No,
I don't want to go there.
No,
but
1,000,000% no.
But I heard him on the air really disrespecting the Dolphins like I'd never heard before.
He's a jet.
Well, whatever he is it warranted or not? He was talking about lack of leadership. He was talking about our wacko coach, and he was really going after our coach on the air live.
He probably wants the job, and he's trying to work himself into it.
Lobbying himself.
You think so? That could be it.
Yeah.
I think he's mentally unstable, and if you want to get into why, that's a whole nother conversation. So
we have to talk. We have to talk about Mark Sanchez. If that's the case, because he had that. I mean, if it's true what they were saying, his wife has a tattoo of Mark Sanchez in her inner thigh. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't want that guy as my coach. We're enough of a clown shit coach wing now to bring this guy in.
I think it really depends on where it is in the inner thigh. If it's lower inner thigh, it's not so bad. Upper inner thigh,
we could talk about that, right?
Yes, of course.
Well, and the foot fetish. I mean, I don't know. Let's keep Rex.
But I don't listen. Mark Sanchez, as we're going to go off on tangents here. Mark Sanchez, I mean, as bad as what happened to him, I don't think anything's more embarrassing than getting tackled by your own center or lineman's butt, okay? That butt fumble was the funniest thing ever in the history of football.
Our house, and in our house, that was a family tradition. In Thanksgiving, we would play the butt fumble. It happened at Thanksgiving.
What, you kept it on like a
TiVo
or something?
It's called YouTube, and I would just say butt fumble Sanchez, and it will come out. Okay?
Alex, if you're playing the old guy, you're supposed to be that tube view thing.
That two of you thing, But you remember the guy that actually pushed him pushed his lineman into the butt?
No, I don't.
You see,
how many
here's the truth.
Have you seen this 100 times?
I've seen it more than once. It was Vince Wilfork.
Oh,
Wilfork.
My
from
gosh.
The U.
From the U, baby. All right, I like that. That's a good one.
He put
that's good trivia there. Man.
Yeah, it was. Sanchez put the ball, right up the guy's butt.
Well, let's conclude with this little bit.
You're not going to go anywhere else with Sanchez?
No, enough with Sanchez.
No beating up of anybody.
I could never stand the guy to start with.
Parking spot.
No, the hell with all that. Okay. But we're talking about that. So I want your guys' opinion. You are two old Dolphins. You've already referenced your age. We know you guys are old, although Scott doesn't look quite as old as you.
What?
but I will say
exercise and healthy eating.
Yes, that's it. I
keep myself
He's in California. He doesn't eat meat. He doesn't. He's doing all the right things, right? All you Californians, as they say.
God bless.
But I want to know. I want your.
It's snowing on Mammoth Mountain right now. Just so you know.
There he goes. Your 5 greatest Miami Dolphin players of all time. Tell me who you think they are. And we could go around and do this, or if you have a list, Scott, we could start with you if you don't mind.
My list is so boring and predictable. I'll tell you the story of them all as we go without trying to be too verbose. If you want me to do all 5. And then I have a bunch extra because Alex was like, well, what are your runner-ups? So
he's got to have honorable mentions.
Yeah. The Dolphins, we had a rich history once.
Yes, we had a rich history of mediocrity.
Number 1, super obvious. Everyone's number 1 probably is Dan Marino. And
no, not my number 1, but go ahead.
Okay. So the reason behind that is the thing I miss most about the Dolphins of the last 25 years, because anytime he stood behind the center, no matter what the score was, no matter who you were playing, you felt like we could win this.
Even Jacksonville playoff game, that last game?
Well, it didn't happen in that one. That was a pretty miserable experience. So
yeah,
and I recently heard on another podcast, Fred Taylor talking about that, and he ended the podcast with a terrible statement that made me throw up in my mouth. So, yeah. Anyways, yeah. So Marino, what a
no, but dude, I hear you. I agree with you. You always thought we could win the game no matter what happened with Danny Boy.
These days, I get so depressed by the current Dolphins. I have recorded the A Football Life, Dan Marino, and I'll just go watch part of that, and I'll feel better.
Sounds like he has a man cave, man crush on Mr. Marino.
Yes. He must have women lined up at his door.
Because he said everybody would say Marino. You and I going, nah, I don't think so, man. I mean, I know you like the Italian stallion there.
Let's keep it rolling.
Like Italian stallion Marino, but I don't know, man.
Okay, let's keep it rolling.
Number 2 is Larry Zonka. If we go all the way backwards, there is no bit of footage of him running over or running through people or blood spraying from his nose or just, I'll tell you, I was in 5th grade. I read his book, right, for a book report. No, 3rd grade. 3rd grade. That's how young I was all into this scene. And he was talking about Syracuse. He was talking about how people referred to him and Jim Kick as Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, which also was one of my favorite movies of the time. And some of the crazy stuff that they did and all of that. And I was just totally in love with a man of such utter dedication, power, and attitude. And to this day, he is involved with at least observing and replying to what the Dolphins are today. One of our episodes from this season came directly from after the first game. He tweeted, unprepared, unacceptable. I can't even get it right. But yeah. And I use that as the title for our podcast, his quote. So I love Larry Zonka.
Yeah, he is the one guy that when he talks, he's like E.F. Hutton. People listen.
Everybody listens.
Yep. Everybody.
He earned it. Blood, sweat, and tears. He earned it. Okay, so I had growing up as a kid in my room, I had 5 posters on my wall.
And by the way, tell us where that room was, what city that room existed.
It was in a tiny little town in upstate New York called Painted Post, New York.
Right near Buffalo, a place called Buffalo.
No, not near Buffalo.
Right? No?
Okay. It was like 2 hours and 45 minutes from Buffalo. It was not close.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we were closer to Buffalo than to New York City, but still, right on the southern tier.
Yeah. You wouldn't have been close on that one.
Yeah. So those 5 posters on my wall were 3 Charlie's Angels with Farrah Fawcett right in the middle. Larry Zonka on one end and Bob Greasy on the other. So for me, the guy that led us to 3 consecutive Super Bowls, the well-spoken statesman of the Dolphin at that time, even though, if you're comparing him to, Marino, he doesn't have a fraction of the physical skills and the arm and all those things, but I loved him as a kid. And so, and he was a winner. He was a champion. So he's my number 3, Bob Greasy.
Okay.
All right. We'll come forward quite a bit of time for the next 2. They played together. They are my heroes on the defensive side of the ball. Zach Thomas just barely edges out Jason Taylor because Zach Thomas was an overachiever. And I love people who are underestimated and exceed expectations because of their work ethic and their attitude. And that guy was intelligent, fearless, workaholic, to such a point where he did so much homework. He knew, by the way somebody looked left or looked right or where their eyeballs were facing in the backfield, who was going to get the ball and where they were going to go. And that's part of why he was so successful. So only Fred Taylor beat his ass in that game that you aforementioned. So, yeah.
And my thing with Zach was that I met him after he had left the Dolphins on South Miami Avenue in front of Firehouse 4, drunk as can be. He wasn't, I was. And he
I don't believe that. You were high.
He was the nicest guy I ever met. And he said this one thing to me, which endeared him to me forever. I miss playing for the Dolphins so much. That's what he said to me. He at that time had just retired from I think the Cowboys is where he ended his career. But
no, that's all right. Zach just personified the type of human being that I respect, the overachiever, where Jason was such a talent, like above and beyond capable, talent, such a joy to watch. In my mind, in my memory, I don't see him getting sacks. I see him getting sack, strip, fumble, pick it up and score over and over and over again. He was a master at doing that. Scoop and score, yes. All of that stuff. If you remember his last play as a Miami Dolphin, was a scoop and score that eventually got called back because of a penalty. I didn't remember what the penalty was. I was so mad. I'm like, what a way to end your career. I mean, this was after he went to the Jets for, oh God, I try to erase that from my memory that he was a Jet for a short period of time, but then came back to us for his last season. Yeah. So you got to love Jason. He was just a spectacular talent. Those are my 5 favorite.
Awesome list. Awesome. Alex, you're on board, buddy.
Jim Jensen.
Two Old Dolphins. We are getting their top 5 Dolphins all time.
Jim Jensen, my number 1. Here's a guy that married a hot
He proposed to her on the sideline.
It's the man's cave, so you got.
Yeah, that's true. There's something to be said for that. But number 1.
No, okay, but here's my real number 1. I toyed around with this because Marino seems like a good choice, Scott, but it's Larry Csonka. And Larry Csonka.
Thank you, brother.
And I want to thank you. I want to thank you.
No point in thanking me because it is never going to happen.
I want to thank you.
Helmet.
This man.
Here comes the helmet.
This man has done something that I really warms my heart. Thank you, Andy. Bring it over, brother. Bring it over. What do you mean, no? You're bending over. It took an hour. You might as well do something fast.
Yes, it did. It took a long time. But Alex, I actually, what I do, Scott, is I tease Alex with this all the time.
Yes, I know this.
And that is,
I'm going to expose him for how he took this thing. I'm going to expose him. I'm going to expose him.
I practically stole this.
He stole it from a little old lady. It was a horrible story. And and the only way to redeem it is by passing it on and helping a friend. So, okay. Csonka, it's all the obvious reasons why I love Csonka, but guys, Csonka, probably my most vivid memory of Csonka was, getting that offensive roughing when he almost decapitated.
Dude, you took the words out of my mouth.
And I remember Shula that day, folks. If anybody remembers Shula, the way he went crazy on the refs.
I only can imagine. I don't remember that, but.
And I loved it. That passion. But Csonka, the way he took over Super Bowl 8 and ran for, at that time, a record 145 yards. I remember sitting in the Orange Bowl, and it would be 3rd and 1, 4th and 1, and the whole stadium going, Csonk. And it was an automatic first down. That's my favorite part, none. The rest, I'm just going to say, not in any particular order. I'm going to go to another running back, Ricky Williams.
Oh my God! You took it out of my. You took him off my list.
It was easy.
I didn't think either one of you was going to pick him.
Hacking the phone was so easy for you.
It's on my honorable list. Yeah.
Just yeah. Anyway, the Ricky Williams should be in the Hall of Fame. He was just nominated, and they just didn't quite make it to the final. He should be a Hall of Fame.
I can't agree with you more.
I couldn't put him on my top 5 because I couldn't reward him for his retirement to go smoke weed in Tibet or whatever it was.
Well, that gets him higher on my list.
Actually, in the men's kick world, that actually is a winner. That's a winner because he did what the hell he wanted to do, and the NFL is a bunch of hypocrites. That went after this guy for smoking pot, and that guy can beat up his girlfriend and gets a 4-game suspension.
It wasn't
don't even get me started on that.
That was abandoning the team.
It's a stupid, ridiculous thing that the NFL does. But anyway, Ricky Williams, when he was on his game, Ricky could go
unstoppable.
Every time he touched the ball. I remember there was games that I would be sitting there going, yeah, Ricky can break one. And he would break it for 50 yards and break it again. That Buffalo game, Ricky was the best back we ever had. He really
there's a reason why Mike.
Oh yeah,
there's a reason why Mike Ditka gave up his entire draft
and married him
for Ricky Williams, and then married him.
I would have married him too.
That's right. Yeah,
the way he ran that ball, you have to marry the guy.
Okay, that's number.
Then, my list then goes to obvious guys. Bob Greasy. I remember my vivid memory of Bob Greasy was at the time we had the best record in football, and we were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers. And Two Old Dolfans, there I was watching that game as a young man, and we were losing at halftime. And then Greasy comes in the second half, leads us to victory. And by the way, that game was in Pittsburgh because back then it wasn't the best record.
It was whoever got they rotated.
They rotated. It was the dumbest shit on earth.
Yes.
But being a great league that the NFL is, they corrected
it. By the way, at a Pittsburgh Steelers team that ended up winning 4 championships, that team.
And that team.
So it was quite an accomplishment.
And then Greasy was named the starter in the Super Bowl.
Yes.
The rest is history. My other two
and hats off to Earl Morrall, might I say.
The best backup.
Didn't lose
again. Oh, him and Don Strock. Don Strock. My other 2 guys is, of course, Dan Marino. So you're happy, Scott. Scott, the crush is good. I mean, he's not number 1, but he's there. And then Jason Taylor. Taylor. The reason is Jason Taylor, I think, was by far the best defensive lineman that ever played for Miami. And a hell of a good coach. today, and we've discussed this, today should take their head off and should say, thank you, Mr. Taylor, because they have 2 defensive ends that are going to be drafted probably in the first round, 1 possibly in the first 5. That were mentored and tutored by this guy.
He might be a number 1.
Okay. Yeah.
He might be the number 1.
Bain is unbelievable.
Yes.
But you can see a lot of Jason Taylor. He doesn't physically look like him, but the way he goes under a tackle, the way he uses his leverage is Jason Taylor helping this kid.
Yeah, he was a great player. I'm gonna really get through my list in a nanosecond because you guys covered everyone except one player in the top 5. I don't think
Gallagher Premium.
No, it's Gary Premier or Uwe von Schamann. Okay, no, not a kicker. But I will say he portrayed ballet, poetry in motion to me as a young kid. No, you may not.
Yes, starts with a P.
Correct. Mr. Paul Warfield, the Miami Dolphins.
I had him on my
Paul Warfield, just to me as a kid, I remember sitting with my dad in the AFC Championship game, the year we lost to the Dallas Cowboys, but we played Johnny Unitas in the Orange Bowl for the AFC Championship against the Colts. And I even interviewed on radio Dick Anderson about this because he had what to me to this day was the most incredible interception and return pick 6, as we call it today, for a touchdown. And it was just a magical game. But I remember sitting in that corner end zone seat and seeing Paul Warfield run a post, and the way he ran that pattern, the way he cut, and the way he kind of, got his body elevated a little when he made the cut was like ballet to me. And to me, he snuck in at number 5.
So you're a big ballet fan.
I love,
He's a big ballet.
I've been a ballet fan ever since I saw Baryshnikov in those tight pants. How could I say no, right? But I look at Tommy. Tom.
You got Marino. You got
Yeah.
But not Duper, not Clayton.
No, I agree. But Marino
Rose.
went through it for all those years, throwing it to Joe Rose and and people
Fire.
like that.
His list of receivers who caught a touchdown from him is a mile long.
Yeah. Yes,
mile long.
for sure. O.J. McDuffie and every other guy that he made a superstar. But I loved being with you guys today. Thank you so much, Two Old Dolfans. This is Miami's Man Cave. It started on the radio. It's now here on YouTube, and we're going to talk Miami subjects. We're going to talk sports, and we're going to talk everything about the 305, and we hope you join us. Comment, do all that other shit they do here on YouTube. I don't even know. I'm old like him and like him. Do all that other stuff that they do on YouTube. Like us, follow us, give us a kick in the ass, whatever it is you do. But come and watch us here on Miami's Man Cave. Cheers and thanks. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Cheers.